Leonard knocks down his first bucket as a Clipper. Did not expect him to play, and now he comes away with a leather larceny back the other way.
You can see right away when it left his hands.
Welcome back to The Jump. Kawhi made his Clippers debut last night across the street at Staples Center. Last time we saw Kawhi playing basketball, he beat the two-time defending champions in 6 games to win Toronto its first NBA title and earn his second Finals MVP crown. Paul, should we expect to see the dominance Kawhi displayed in the Finals to carry over into the season?
No, I don't think we're going to see it carry over into the regular season because I think he's going to be on load management. I think he can have a chance to pace himself, sort of like what he did in the regular season for the Raptors. You know, he's going to take games off. He's going to have Paul George there, but the key for him is they're going to have him ready for playoff basketball. So they're going to pace him. I don't expect him to be an MVP candidate, but, you know, they're going to pace him enough to where he's ready for another Finals run.
Paul, after you win a Finals MVP and a title, how much more confidence do you gain as a player?
Oh, my gosh. I came in like I didn't want to – I came in like I'm the best player in the league, and it's really on this year. I'm not letting up. This is the window right now. It was like, this is the window. It's a full steam ahead. The window was there, and it was just like that. Next year, I think I made All-NBA second team for the first year. Unfortunately, Kevin Garnett got hurt. Yeah. We would have won back-to-back, I believe.
Let me ask you this. If Kawhi goes ahead, and let's just assume, the Clippers win the championship, he wins Finals MVP. He'll have 3 Finals MVPs with 3 different teams. That's never happened in the history of the league. Where do you put that as an accomplishment of being able to go to different situations and be the best player, basically?
Way, way up there, because you're able to fit into a variety of settings. And what we've seen historically is guys go to one team or a couple teams and they fit in there well, but they don't always get to that level. To do it 3 times in 3 different places is incredible.
Now, he won't be the only one in that boat. LeBron
is the other one. Yep.
He wins with the Lakers this year. Where do we categorize that? If we can't take him any higher than he already is, I mean, but if he can transform this franchise just over, it's like everywhere you go, you just win.
But that's the other thing. If he can make the Clippers a championship team, where does that rank as far as an achievement in this league?
I mean, he's already up there with the all-time greats based on this last year's performance. I mean, he has nowhere but up to go. I mean, he's still young. He's still in his prime. And Kawhi is already, in my eyes, a top, probably like 30 player all time.
Right. Well, before the break, we told you to check out Zach Lowe's annual League Pass rankings. Every day during the season, obviously here at The Jump, we pick our League Pass game of the night, which highlights the best game that's not on ESPN, TNT, or NBA TV. So let's take this opportunity to pick our League Pass All-Stars for the upcoming season. Here are the 10 teams that have the most nationally televised games scheduled for the season, so you guys can't pick a player from any of these teams. So, Paul, who is your League Pass All-Star?
This is easy. Luka Doncic. He's must-watch TV. I mean, we saw a rookie go out here and dazzle the league. He was in conversations for making the All-Star game in his rookie league. When these national games are on, I'm looking to see Luka Doncic on League Pass all day long.
What you got?
Andrew Wiggins.
Really?
Not really.
What are we doing?
Not really. Not really. But for me, it's Markelle Fultz. I grew up in Orlando.
You are not going to sit there when the Clippers are playing the Lakers and say, I need to turn on League Pass and watch
the early game, the warm-up game. I am going to follow, though. I want to see if he's able to turn it around. Because nobody knows. And we went through this, but the issue is if you're the Magic, you have nice young pieces, you still have no star.
Right.
You desperately need this kid to become a star. So if he can take those steps this year, they're going to be pretty fun to watch.
You know, I don't believe anything past November. You're going to still be watching Orlando Magic games.
That's my team.
Like you said,
everybody's got a
the
team.
national game.
That's my team.
For me, while the Denver Nuggets are the team, I'm surprised they don't have a lot of national TV games. From a player standpoint, I'm going with Jimmy Butler. I want to see what he does in Miami. We've talked about this before pretty much all summer long. He exemplifies their culture more than probably any player in the league, and he's never actually played there. So now I want to see what kind of steps he makes from being in an environment that values all the things that Jimmy values. And Nick, obviously, I know you're very familiar from covering him in Chicago and then Minnesota. those types of things that what people felt were ornery at times and abrasive. In Miami, it's like, oh, welcome to the club.
Jimmy is always better in a structured environment. He's always better around people that he trusts and respects. The question I'd ask to you, having watched him all the way through as well, what do you think is going to be different in Miami that we haven't already seen in Chicago, Minnesota, and Philly?
Well, I think
Right.
the structure. I think
It was pretty structured in Chicago.
it wasn't. No, not really. Not when Fred was there. Right?
I'm talking more of the tips.
I'm just saying.
When Fred was there, it was like Animal House.
But that's my point. Is if you look at Jimmy Butler, I think one of the things he responds to is demanding environments, right? Somewhere where they're going to demand a lot of you, and I think that's what's going to happen in Miami.
This is my thing. As a leader, you create your environment.
Right.
Coach,
And that's
as a leader,
the biggest knock
you
on
create
Jimmy.
your environment.
To Paul's point,
Period.
is that he's never developed as a leader.
As a leader, you create your environment.
He's
You
been on
create
need
the
him to be.
culture.
That's
As
fair.
a leader, so it's not like you're going to find your culture. No, you as a leader, you create it.
But isn't it easier being in somewhere where that culture already lines up with what you want to do?
I feel like the culture was there with Tibbs early on in Chicago. The
They
culture
weren't
was there in
successful?
Minnesota.
I don't know about Minnesota.
With Tibbs,
I don't know if it was there.
Jimmy killed whatever culture there was in Minnesota.
But when
That was the issue.
But it was killed because there was clearly a two-system thing going on there, where there were some people who did not have to answer or adhere to the way we want to do things. And the difference is in Miami, they don't have that. James Johnson isn't even in camp. He's not going to play. He's not even in camp because he was a little bit over whatever baseline they had for the fitness test. That's what I'm talking. That's the difference. Whereas, in Minnesota, there were some people who did not have to worry because they could go above Tibbs and be, liked
and do their thing.
Do their thing.
Paul is exactly right, though. The leader sets the tone.
The tone,
Jimmy's
period.
biggest issue in the league to date is he wants to be the star and he wants to be the guy. And in every situation where he's been given that chance, there's always issues
It's
to
always
follow.
something.
All right, let's move on. Because we already skipped the producer
serious.
picks, and they're all salty. They're in my ear like, we want to get our picks in. Too bad, guys. We're going to talk about Lonzo Ball now. Lonzo Ball is getting a fresh start in New Orleans after spending 2 turbulent seasons with his hometown Los Angeles Lakers. Magic once called Lonzo the new face of the Lakers, but it didn't quite work out that way. Lonzo opened up to Shams from The Athletic about what went wrong in Tinseltown. He said the pressure wasn't too much in L.A. and added, quote, number 2 pick, you're supposed to do a job. You're supposed to turn the franchise around. And I don't think I did it to the best of my abilities. I didn't live up to that standard. Paul, is this the year Lonzo finally lives up to the hype?
Well, I don't know if he's going to live up to the hype that, Magic and they gave him coming out of UCLA as a franchise turnaround player, being the next Jason Kidd, Magic, but he's going to be a fairly good player. He's going to be on a team that I'm going to love watching, exciting him, Zion, and all the pieces they have there, Drew Holiday. And hopefully he can just stay healthy. But the thing I like about this, he's owning up to it.
Right.
He's accepting it. And, that puts pressure. When you put the pressure on yourself, then you have to go out and do the work. And I think he's going to play like he has something to prove.
He needed a change of scenery badly. The issue for me, guys, is I just don't know if he'll be able, health-wise, to stay on the floor. That's been his real biggest issue. At times, he's shown flashes, but at other times, he hasn't been out there.
Right.
You can't prove anything if you're not healthy enough to play.
That's absolutely been his biggest problem, is staying healthy. But I would say he's going to a team in New Orleans that has just hired what was the best training staff in the league. The guys from Phoenix, Aaron Nelson, Tom Maysat are there. It's a new day in New Orleans. And we know that the training staff, I'll say in LA, has just been unconventional at best. And then you have the shoe issue. And so I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen to him that's going to make life a lot easier by being in New Orleans. All right, coming up, Jaylen Brown has hired an agent. Is there pressure on the Celtics to offer Brown the max rookie scale extension before the deadline in 10 days? We'll discuss.